2, 1, or are you hitting the button?
We're live.
We're live.
I know.
Welcome, guys.
Oh,
Welcome to a special edition of Canadian Brick Builders with Jeff on location in
Yes.
Atlanta, but not really on location.
I just want to know that I've been saving today's hat for this moment. So
What's the hat?
it is
Let me full screen you.
a bottle of
Oh.
maple syrup playing hockey
Oh, cool.
with the Canadian
Very
logo on the bottle of maple syrup. So this is from a Canadian company called, what is it called?
Something Toronto.
No, what's it called? True North? Not True North. I'll get the name, but I got a couple hats from them.
We
But
got two
yeah.
people in chat watching. We're not in chat.
Noble North. The cat
Noble
company is called
North.
Noble North. So if you want a bottle of maple syrup playing hockey, go to Noble North website. So
Very cool. Very cool.
they're the same company, I think, that made the. What was the other one I had?
How are you?
It's been a year.
Yeah, I haven't talked
It's
to you.
been 6 months since I saw you in person. So
Oh yeah, Chicago, right?
yeah, Chicago was the last time. So
So,
it's
yes,
hard to
Jeff
believe.
has come down to Atlanta for Atlanta BrickCon. Is that it?
Yeah.
You got it right.
So
It's hard to believe that Jeff was here 12 months ago because to me it feels like it's been 2 years ago. Like there's been a lot that's gone on in the last 12
Yeah.
months for me personally. And I'm like, was that only a year ago?
Yeah.
It feels longer.
I'm cracking open a can of imported Canada Dry blackberry, just for the record.
Did you report that at the border or did you buy it?
I did not. You know, my border crossing was so easy. Like I used to be really nervous. You could ask Janie, and if she's ever watching. Hey, Eric, Seth, how you doing? I used to be so nervous crossing the border when we went to conventions and stuff. And this time crossing, I got up there. I knew all the questions. You know, it gets easier with time. But the guy's like, "What's in the trailer?" And I'm like, "Lego."
Lego
Like,
bricks.
Where are you going? I'm going to. Well, he asked me where I was going first. I said, "I'm going to a Lego convention in Atlanta." He's like, "What's in the trailer?" And I'm like, "A Lego display. I have a picture on my phone. Do you want to see it?" He's like, "Okay." Hey, excellent. So I pulled out my phone, showed him, and he asked to check out the trailer and stuff. And then he came back to the front and he just started chatting with me a bit about it and stuff. So, you know, it's gotten to the point now where it's routine, I guess. So thankfully, I'm used to it now.
When you cross with the trailer, do they almost always want to look in it?
Oh yeah, they always ask for the key. Like I always have the key handy. I hand it to them. Like I literally had the key in my hand, and, you know, because I know they're going to check. And I said, I'll tell you right now, it's all in big black bins like big black plastic bins, because otherwise it would fall apart. And I said, feel free to open them if you need to. You know, I've got some stuff loose in the back. Like I've got clear bins in the back if you want to look through those. He's like, okay. So I don't even know if he popped the lid or anything. He opened the trailer. He would have saw a bunch of tables and all the black bins and my dolly and stuff. So, but I'm pretty sure they keep record of what you come across, like your reasons for coming across every year. So they probably sees Lego convention, right? Like,
dork.
nerd.
My most stressful border crossing was I went up in 2002 to Detroit. I was lucky enough to snag tickets to the Stanley Cup Finals, Game 1 and 2. Very exciting. My best buddy from high school, we were going to go, but he had to go to work, and I went over to Windsor to get some hockey gear just to look at Perani's Hockey World. And I come back, and I didn't have a passport. I just had my driver's license because we always crossed with the driver's license growing up in Michigan. It was a routine thing. And when I'm entering the U.S., I got chewed out up and down. And I was like, well, you've never, and he goes, it's different. It's post 9/11. You need a passport. So I thought for sure they were going to inspect my car and take it apart down to the bolts. And I said, I just went over to buy some. Look, I was like, look, I bought the Steve Yzerman jersey, you know, at Perani's. But I did fit the profile of a smuggler of like, I was younger then, a single male traveling alone, you know, that kind of stuff. They didn't actually inspect it. They just gave me a hard time and said, don't ever do it again.
Yeah. I think I told the story in the past, coming back from Chicago like 10 years ago. I left my passport in the safe in the hotel room, And luckily, they can't deny you entry into Canada with your passport as a Canadian citizen. They can't deny your entry, but you have to have a damn good explanation. So I was able to come back in and stuff. So, Axel, if I had said I've got Lego to sell, they would have stripped my trailer completely. I actually didn't bring anything to sell this time. I put a bunch of my polybags on Bricklink a month ago. And the other day I sold $150 worth of Star Wars polybags, like 7 or 8 different polybags. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just leave them on there and get rid of them that way. Shipping isn't too bad.
In 2003, 2004, a group of 4 of us guys from Atlanta went up to Toronto to watch the NHL draft. That was the year the Thrashers took Kari Lettinen. And one of our group of 4 got really drunk at Gretzky's restaurant. And
I almost did it.
What?
Do you remember the Gretzky commercial, Dave? With the special needs kid?
Yeah.
Almost said it.
I didn't see this commercial.
This was when we were younger,
okay.
And making fun of special needs people was not considered horrible. There was a kid. Wayne Gretzky comes up into a room with a special needs kid, and he looks up and he goes, "Gretzky!" And that became the thing that everybody said. And I feel horrible saying it out loud, but it's just when you say Gretzky, that pops into my head every time. So, and we lost all our viewers. No,
he got really drunk at this restaurant, and he was standing at one of those like pillar tables, little round tops, and he knocked the table over, ran out of the restaurant. Leaving the rest of us to deal with this mess. Later shows up at the hotel at like 3 a.m., doesn't know where his wallet is, doesn't remember what he did after that. So we were like, you're going to need to get back in the U.S. So he missed the draft because he was at the U.S. consulate getting like an excuse so that he could board the airplane.
I keep on looking around because the cats are coming to investigate me.
They're checking out Jeff's distinctive smell, so they gotta
distinctive smell. That's a light way to put it.
For a couple of days. Yeah, you could say it's a distinctive smell.
Oh, now he's attacking the drawstrings on my sweatpants. Okay, don't put your claws there. That's a sensitive place.
So yeah, obviously we're in Matt's living room today as opposed to his upstairs area
and we can see the mosaic.
A little more space, yes. You just wanted to show off.
I started putting my space tower together, and that's why there's hardly any room there. I'd have to move stuff to put 2 chairs up there because the boxes that all of the space tower parts are like sitting on the floor. And as usual, everything took slightly longer today, so I didn't get very far in the space tower. But thankfully, we've got about 3 hours in the morning, or I will if I get up. I can go in there and try to remember how it all went together a year and a half ago, the last time I put together. But I do have most of the mosaic put together, so 3 of the 4 panels are behind us. If you look really carefully, though, you might notice there's a problem. The middle panel is put together backwards so that it's the 2 parts don't really make a scene. So I'm going to have to go snip those zip ties and flip them, and then it's not a really big deal, but it's something that'll be done on Thursday or Friday.
It's abstract now.
It's abstract.
Yeah, I was gonna say Picasso, but
it's kind of cubism.
Cubism.
You know what I did? I was going to do it, and I forgot to put them in the trailer. I still have your 4-foot poles from Chicago. That Matt went to Home Depot in Chicago, and he instead of bringing the poles with him, he went to the Home Depot and he bought some. I think you had a few with you originally. Yes. But you needed more, so you went to Home Depot to buy them, and then he left them with Dana and I because he flew out, or he was driving out early.
Yes, I left immediately after the.
You left immediate. Dana stayed the night, I think. So Dana and I went over to the Home Depot to return them, and 2 of the poles were the original ones he brought from a different hardware store here in Atlanta. So I ended up having to take them home with me.
You could have just gifted them the Home Depot.
No, they wouldn't take them. They would not. They said we can't do anything.
Inventory control, probably. Yeah.
So, but I have them at home, and I meant to pack them, and I never did. Likewise, possibly my name tag might be at home. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I remember pulling it out a couple of weeks ago, but I don't remember where I put it.
So when I displayed the mosaic in Salt Lake, I wasn't going to be able to take 5-foot long metal post on the airplane. So I got a rental car, went to Home Depot, purchased them, put it together, cut it apart, returned them, after 2 days and flew home. I spent a lot of money at Home Depot, so I don't feel too bad about renting them.
Renting.
Oh, jeez.
So, Jeff, you want to tell us about your trophies, your treasures?
Dave and I were both fighting there. Who was the artist for the mosaic behind us?
It is Georges Seurat, the French pointillism painter, and the painting is called A Sunday Afternoon at the Island of La Grande Jetée. I think that's how you say it. I don't make any sense of French, so.
And who a new person that has the new slave? Pretty much. The painting was actually featured in Ferris Bueller's Day Off as well. So if you like, I don't ever remember seeing this painting in my life. Oh, I got a leg rub.
Yeah. Well, and the first time that I put it together was Chicago.
Stop rubbing my leg.
I'm not that hairy. And the original painting is in the Chicago Art Institute, and it is 1 meter by 2 meters. And so this is a life-size replica of the original, which I will just point out.
That is not 1 meter by 2 meters.
Or 2 meters by 3 meters or something.
That sounds more like it.
I entered it in the category of life-size replica in Chicago, and they moved it to a mosaic. And I was like, it is a life-size replica. Like, that's where it should be anyway. But
Matt's still a little bitter he didn't win that.
Well, it's sunk. I got my trophy in Salt Lake, so I finally got a trophy. I'll stop bitching about it, but it felt very good.
In Matt's mind,
I've been to 6 or 7.
Salt Lake is better than Chicago.
I've been to 6 or 7 conventions, and I'd been nominated once. I had never won anything. I felt like the Susan Lucci of LEGO conventions. No, Susan Lucci was nominated many times, but
never won, right?
Or I think she finally did once.
I don't even know who she is. I just know
she's a daytime soap opera, which I don't watch. But I just know that she's famous for always being the runner-up.
So, but yeah, how have you been, Dave?
Well, it's been quite a day because I had to go to the office today. So
quite a day, really? Okay, yeah. Uh-huh.
And last night my wife was sick, so.
Oh no. Okay, that is quite a day.
So, is this like sick, like projectile vomiting, or sick, like I'm just going to stay in bed?
Projectile vomiting.
Oh! I'm so sorry. That is not fun. Not fun at all.
Yeah. So, but the good news is that only she has it right now. So, fingers crossed, everybody's gonna come through with. Just
you're spraying Febreze in the air like every 30 minutes.
I'm telling everybody, wash your hands. Everybody, wash your hands. But yeah, so yeah, I had this going, and last weekend I went to Quebec City for a hockey tournament. Not me playing. My son Jacob was playing. We lost all 3 games, so.
Oh.
and bad. Like the first game we lost 11-1.
That's not fun.
No, that wasn't fun. But it was we had a great time. Jacob had we went to see the Carnaval de Québec. So the winter carnival, yeah, you got to see Bonhomme Carnaval. You saw the ice sculpture. So yeah,
Here's a question for an American that doesn't know. Is the poutine better in Quebec or in Montreal?
Well, Montreal is in Quebec.
Quebec City. Quebec City.
Well, there are good spots in Montreal and there are good spots in Quebec City. So
okay.
This coming from the guy who, when he was in Mississauga, we went to McDonald's and he had poutine from McDonald's and said, "This is pretty good." That's all I'm saying.
So in other words, it's like food recommendations from Chris Giddens, where he's like, "Yeah, it's pretty good," and I'm like, "I couldn't even finish part of my meal."
Well, good for Chris probably means greasy. Yeah. No, Southern. Yeah, anyway.
It's pretty good barbecue. No, it's not.
But yeah, other than that, I had a few meetings regarding our show that's coming up in May, and I'm almost finished with our registration form for the. I'm looking for my words because I'm thinking in French. Yeah, so he heard us. Yeah, you probably. Well, you're in Atlanta. If you scream, he's gonna hear you.
I probably drove past his house because I was over in Alpharetta and area getting
Yeah,
some
for the exhibitors, I was
work done.
So the registration form is almost done. So it should be online either today after the show or tomorrow. So yeah, but other than that, haven't had time to play with any bricks. So
Yeah.
and you, how was your drive?
Which one?
Well, your drive down
Monday's
to
office drive or Tuesday, Wednesday drive here? So I went to the office on Monday. That was an okay day. It was whatever. But Tuesday and Wednesday, well, the drive was pretty good. I mean, like I said, crossing the border yesterday was fairly easy. Yeah, I knew I was close because I was at Campbell's house, and I'll explain that in a minute. Today's drive, like, it was just long. Both days were like 8+ hours, like 8 hours of driving, but I'm pulling a trailer. I need to get gas every 300 kilometers, which equals, some hundreds of miles. So 1.6.
some hundreds of miles.
I think it's about 400 miles, something like that.
Wait, Google.
187 miles, really?
Why divided by 1.6? You said 300
I
or
don't know.
350? It doesn't.
300. Anyways, 300 kilometers.
4 fill-ups.
4 fill-ups each day.
So that's basically a fill-up every 2 hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's perfect for
Wow.
stretching your back.
Well, yes, but it's also
I'm
stressing out of, okay, I need to find the next gas station. No problems at the gas stations this time because everything's chip and tap now, which is like awesome. And they're asking for pins on the chip cards, which they didn't last time I came
Yeah,
down.
for your zip code.
No, they tried asking for my zip code and I couldn't do that. So now it's all chip readers. It's like, oh, I can enter my PIN, no problem. And I went through with ease. So that was good. I stopped yesterday. Did I stop anywhere for Lego stuff? Oh, yesterday I stopped at the Bricks. I stopped at Bricks and Minifigs in Hamilton, Ohio, which is a little way off the highway, but I saw it and I was like, oh, hey, I wouldn't mind going to that one. And I got myself a bunch of little figs, and I'm not going to show them off, but Castle figs. Plus,
Wait! I'm going to put you on solo.
Castle figs, no. Castle fig. The newer styles. I got one more of the white
Spaceman.
The Spaceman and the White Snow Guardian. Because the White Snow Guardian was like $10 there. Of course, that's American. But I paid, 15 at Bricks and the Six for like 2 or 3 of them, 15 a piece. So I got those, and that was what I bought there. It was like $100. That's $100 worth of figs.
Is that $100?
$100 because they're like on average $7 or $8 a fig. And I mean, they're all the older Castle, like the red and white guys, those guys, and then the dark green ones. I'm trying to get a good angle of. Like those are the guys that came out when my kids were where my kids were coming out too. Wait, that didn't sound right. You know what I mean? When I had to get kids, so I couldn't buy a lot of Lego back then. And the purple space character I got because I knew I had a couple of helmets, I think, left and stuff. So I figured I could just build another one.
The silver helmets look like they're in good condition.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were all in great condition. Considering they actually had the original Knights Castle at that store for I think $250 US. And had all the figures, but it was really, really color worn. Like the gray was like old. I would have bought it for the figures, but I didn't want to buy it. 100 US is like 500 Canadian. Matt Cooks barbecue and a crock pot. Nice.
My eyesight is bad enough. I can't read the chat until you make it bigger, and I can see it too.
Well, hold on. I can probably make this bigger. Control plus. Hold on. Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. Now we made it visible by Matt. The Castle guys that were in the Castle chess set. I don't think so. I think they were just literally the 2006 to 2008 or 9 space guys or Castle guys. 8 gallons per kilometer. Yeah. Oh, filling up gas. It was $2.99 a gallon. That was the most expensive I paid. Which that works out to because a gallon is 3.78 liters. So that means it was less than $1 or like 90 cents or even less American a liter, which means it was way lower than the $30, $40 we're paying per liter in Canada. So I was quite happy like that. I did not get to Jake's Bricks and Minifig store today, and there's a story behind that. I might run over tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I have to figure out what time it opens. Well, of Chris, what time does it open? I might go over tomorrow morning before we set up at Atlanta BrickCon, just because I have some time to kill, maybe, and I just didn't get a chance to go there. But
so when I went to Windsor and I was a college student, I was not thinking, and I thought, wow, gas is really cheap here. That's because it's by the liter. So really cheap. I was like, wow, I should fill up. I mean, this is like whatever it was, you know. And then I was like, oh wait, this seems to be going up very quickly.
Yeah, it's weird to get to pump 12 gallons of gas, and I'm like, why is my tank full? Well, yeah, gallons. That's like 48 liters. Okay.
How many liters does your tank hold?
I think 70.
70?
Yeah.
Holy
I have a big SUV.
But that's a lot.
Well, no, it's 12
70 liters, 12 gallons.
No, that's only 48. No, well, it's 70 if it's empty.
Okay.
But I was filling up after down to a quarter. I could go further, but I choose not to. And mileage on the truck is worse because I'm pulling a trailer. On the car is worse. So it wasn't as bad as the first year going to Alabama, but because my car was new at that point and it wasn't really broken in, I guess. But anyway, so yeah. And then today I stayed just on the Cincinnati Kentucky border. Cats are like attacking stuff over there. I stayed on the Cincinnati Kentucky border, right by the Cincinnati airport, which is in Kentucky. Anyway, and then I left there, stopped at the Walmart that was there to look what they had. They had crap for Lego. Opens at 11. Jake will be there. Okay, good. I'll try and get there then. But yeah, anyways, I was driving down and the cats are like going at it. Scared the shit out of the cat. I said shit. Ooh. The cat just got me back.
He's the scaredy cat. He's like, wow.
Yeah, our gas gets delivered in bags like milk. Yeah, that's true.
Thank you, Ivan.
Yeah. So yeah, so today I stopped. I stopped again in Kentucky in the same bricks and minifigs I went to last year in I can't think of the name now. A little town in Kentucky on the route. I stopped there and looked what they had, and I ended up getting the poly bag because I haven't seen this in Canada yet. The space poly bag. I haven't seen it outside of a. I knew he was going to do that. I haven't seen it outside of a Lego store. Well, I haven't seen it in a Walmart type thing. And I got 2 more collectible minifigs. These have the small barcodes, so I don't know what they are, but they were in a box, so I lifted the top layer off and took where the mushroom person should be and where the goat person should be, because I thought, you know what, kids know it's one of them, but I'm not opening later yet because they're for someone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna and maybe later we'll have a dramatic on-camera moment. But no, sounds like that's right.
No, one of my friends asked for one of the mushroom people, so I don't know which is which either. So
well, you could open to verify, as they say on Bricklink.
Well, I could do that, but yeah, and then I then went over to. I drove down to Atlanta. Sorry, not Alabama. My apologies. I'm still used to saying Alabama because that's where the first time I came down was. I got the poly at Bricks and Minifigs in. You're gonna make me in Lexington, Kentucky. That's the place. So they had it there. I looked at the. I didn't see it yesterday at the Bricks and Minifigs in Hamilton, Ohio. So I guess they're limited, or somehow they've ordered them in and got them from somewhere. But so yeah, you guys remember I brought this with me, my TELUS logo for my building. I was not very happy with. Sorry, this side. I wasn't very happy with the T because it's supposed to be like neon or lime green. It's not. So I was in Old Gray Bricks the other night with the chat, and I think near the end of the chat, I reached out to Chris Campbell, who does printing, and he was showing us some of the cool stuff he prints. And I said, hey, Chris, is it possible to do a logo for me for this building? And he's like, yeah, send me the files and pop by, because he's actually off of I-75 coming down. He was like kind of close to the highway. So I got to his house about 5:30, and we spent an hour and a half getting the layout. Oh, yeah, that works. Let's try to figure out what you were doing. There we go. Of course, now I can't see anything. We spent about an hour and a half getting the logo to work, but he's got a one of those high-end printers that has the ability to print white, the magical printers, and I don't even need this probably for this. So he printed me off 2 of these, which is just absolutely beautiful. He his printing, there's the original. His printing puts, well, you can see on the back, it's actually white layered on the back, and then he prints the color on top. So I mean I am not afraid. Like, I was embarrassed to show the building like this. So now I'm like, this is awesome. So
he's not worried about losing his job now.
No. Well, I mean, I have a trade. I have a legal obligation
about the quality.
No, I know. But yeah, so that made my day. Then I ran out of time. I couldn't get to the Bricks and Minifigs, the Fazoom's son Jake's store. I couldn't get there in time, but I did hit the Lego store to update my passport. I got my stamp from the North Point Lego store. They also had this guy, which I haven't seen as well in our stores in Ontario. Have you seen this one in Quebec yet, Dave?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Okay, I haven't seen it in Ontario, so I got it as well. I mean, these are like the $10 sets and the $5 sets, right? Like,
you got like the orange space miner.
I do.
I hadn't really noticed that.
Matt's doing a review.
But
well, generally,
my beef with that set is that there are no controls. How is he driving that mech?
Yeah, well, true, but Fazoom, that's a good one. What a great print job. Yeah, it's amazing. So I was going to reach out to Marc-Andre Basmati, but who's our Quebec guy, but I didn't really, like, this happened on like Monday night. We were chatting and he's like, yeah, send it to me. And I'm like, sure. Cause I mean, A, no shipping, B, friends and family discount. Apparently I gave him more than he asked for, but anyway, he wouldn't take what I gave him. And then
he's very generous. Like
he is. So stop being so generous, Chris.
Just remember, you have to declare that at the border. No.
I work for TELUS.
I'm bringing home a TELUS sign.
Printed
on Lego bricks.
Wait, I don't have a legal agreement in the States. It's only in Canada, so I might get in trouble there. No,
you're repatriating the TELUS logo.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So then I drove quickly over here, like from the North Point Lego store. So I literally got here 15 minutes before the chat. Backed the trailer in pretty decently, even though I thought, oh, Matt will come out and help me, and then like Matt, like I literally said, I'm pulling into your driveway.
He's an old farm kid. I know he knows how to back up a wagon.
Yeah, I'm not quite straight, but
it's much better than I could do for sure. I was just like, whatever, he'll be fine.
Probably pretty much better than I could do. With
we have no laws about that here. You can walk sidewalk.
Okay, well, it's a cul-de-sac. If they can't walk,
my neighbor down the street tries to fit like 7 cars in his driveway. The sidewalk's always blocked. You're going to be fine.
It's a cul-de-sac anyhow, and you're right on the end of it. So,
but Jeff was making me nervous because I knew that the showtime was 9, and I'm like, he's not even here yet. And it's like 8:35, and he gets here at 8:45, and I'm like, it's like 15
What time
minutes.
Did you get here?
Well, I got here at 8:37 because I had a work event, very exciting work event with city commissioners here in Gwinnett County. But I did get free dinner out of it, so it wasn't, there was that. But
my mom doesn't back up wagons anymore, Chris. Sorry. Just so yeah, that's been my adventure for today. And like I said, tomorrow morning I think I'll run over to the Johns Creek Bricks and Minifigs. I know I'm double backtracking because I probably just drove right past it coming here.
No, you didn't.
I might disconnect my trailer though.
Yeah. And
then drive over and then come back, reconnect it, and then head over to the event. It's in the different halls though. It's in the we were in A last year, and this is now in C and D.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if we have to come in from the other direction now to the back.
I mean, the roads all lead there.
Yeah, I know.
So it's just a matter of which one which gate we're backing up to. I'm going to probably go over before you because I have to go over and get tables.
Oh, and drop them off.
Tables need to go in first, so the tables can be aligned, and then I'll come back and get the mosaic and my space tower. I might get up. If I wake up, I'll probably go up and work on putting the space tower back together in the Lego room since it hasn't been put back together in a year and a half. So we'll see if I can still remember how it all fits together.
But yeah, so I mean, tomorrow will be a quiet morning, maybe. Trying to call the cat over. Nope, not
I'm
having it.
curious though.
Tomorrow's going to be a quiet morning, hopefully.
Oh,
Um,
hey, Jeff.
But tomorrow's spaceship day. Friday is moon base day. Okay. I didn't bring any spaceships.
I think he means like
for setting up.
building.
Yeah.
So,
Spaceship.
are you gonna be there? So, I don't know if anybody noticed in the layout, but I initially stated that I needed 48 by 96, and then I pulled the parts out and I realized I really needed 96 by 96. Hopefully, we can make it work.
I say you just chop
Just
it.
add a few tables.
Just chop the back off of it.
I could probably get by with like 48 and then half of that, or I don't know. Well, I know that there's a moon base overflow, so maybe the rear end of my thing will have to butt into the overflow, but we'll see.
He's just in rear end button overflow.
I know. Dana somewhere is cackling.
16 people are watching us though. But,
Rear end.
but yeah. So, should we hop into the news? Because I'm not driving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For the
sure.
Jetsons, there's a side overflow. So he's already decided to put you in the overflow.
Oh, nobody puts baby inside overflow. I have my
Yes.
Jetson hat.
We could
Or
hop
this-
into news. Or I'm gonna have to share first.
Listen about her. She doesn't really like to be held. She likes to rub up against other people, but she's like, she wants to be affectionate on her own terms.
I'm not driving today, so I'm waiting for Dave to do the news. Oh, but I can't. While he does that, I can do this.
She's a strong-willed woman.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. So yeah, to put this a little bigger. Here we go.
It's his first
So
time.
yeah.
on the break.
First, so the Bricklink Designer Program, the Series 1 pre-orders are now open. If you remember, there were 5 sets available, and we learned through Brick Set that the designer program. I think that's it. Are you seeing this? No.
We're just seeing the Bricklink Designer program.
Yeah, I need to switch over.
You just share your whole screen. Well, not like
Okay,
that.
I'm
Now
gonna
we're-
switch.
We're in full screen just because it's hard to see on this monitor.
Yeah. Wait.
Your
Where's my news?
mom's gonna go pee. Wait, no, it's not. No, he started with the jokes. So, mom jokes are an old gray bricks thing.
Okay. So yeah, we learned through Brickset that the Mountain Fortress is already sold out. It was sold out after 3 hours only.
How much? That was the most expensive one, right?
That was the most expensive one, the biggest one, and it sold out in 3 hours. Actually, Patrick Bégin was telling us in our private chat that it was selling pretty fast, and after 3 hours, it's all gone. And I was looking at the Snack Shack, which is the smallest one,
Yeah.
and it's almost sold out also. So
Wow.
2 sets are already almost, well, either sold out or almost sold out. And that's just after the first day.
And looking on my phone, it looks like the train station is like 85% sold out.
Wow.
And it's 230. That's the one that draws my eye the most. I'm sort of tempted to place an order.
That's crazy.
So that's
And-
like the biggest news that we get.
Yeah.
There weren't any new sets announcements except for the exclusive Legoland set that was announced, and I'm going to share.
You got that.
this.
For the record, that means they sold 30,000 of those in 3 hours, so 10,000 an hour basically.
It just proves that nobody likes Castle.
You know, you can share your whole screen, right, Dave?
I know, but if I share my whole screen, I just have one screen, so I cannot like.
Oh,
switch
you're
over.
one of those people.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
No, it's joking.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Yeah,
Okay.
that works. Okay.
Here we go.
It's interesting. The Parisian street, it looks like it's not even half sold.
Yeah.
As you said, the Fortress is sold out, and The snack chat is now sold out,
Oh,
so
it is.
it's done.
Guess I'm not getting that.
And the
Oh, wow.
general store is about 65% sold. So if I'm going to get the train station, I'm probably going to do that tonight.
Better.
So yeah, the on the 31st, Lego. Well, in Melbourne, there was like a leak, I guess, or the Melbourne Legoland. They revealed the set that was going to be a Legoland exclusive, the 4710, um, uh, the Splash Battle, Pirate Splash Battle, which is a Legoland exclusive. It looks like some sort of theme park based on pirates, I guess. So, yeah. Thoughts, Jeff?
I'm trying to remember if we covered that last Wednesday because 31st was last Wednesday. But anyways, I mean it's cute, but I mean I don't. It probably doesn't have any unique parts, and it's just one of those things that we can't get unless we get to a Legoland in the near future, which I don't think I have one in my future plan for a while. Well, although New York is still one of the ones I wanted to get to. Actually, they're all one of the ones I wanted to get to, but New York is probably the only one that's viable.
Yeah.
Considering Janie lives a few hours away from it.
Yep. And that's pretty much all the news there was because, like I said, there was no big reveal for sets. There weren't any like new sets announced. I haven't seen any rumors either. So,
well, I mean, there were they did have a couple of 10,000 or a couple of Lego Idea sets hit the 10,000 mark I'd seen.
well,
We
we'll
can talk
get
about
to
those
that.
next week.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Dave doesn't care about that, so therefore it's
Yeah.
not important. I get it. As I'm currently checking BrickSet to see if there is anything worth talking about, but yeah, I mean, or the BrickFan. As the image of the chat said, I made that thing last night, and it was like, there's nothing. There's no
Nothing.
news.
It's a slow news week.
Oh, it is. Which, I mean, I guess all the March stuff.
But next week we'll have lots of pictures from Atlanta BrickCon.
Right, Jeff? Just want to take pictures.
I'll make this observation that on the other show, Old Gray Bricks, we generally don't cover the news the same way that you guys do on this one. And having joined this chat now several times, it actually kind of stands out just how much news there is every week in Lego. I mean, there's a surprising amount of stuff, like almost every single week to talk about. And you're making a point about it's a slow news week, but on an average week, there's stuff.
Yeah. This week has just been,
and usually the set reveals are on Thursday when Old Gray Bricks happens.
That's Battle set. That was actually February 4th. It was revealed officially. So I thought you said the 31st of January, and I'm like, that's so last week. But yeah. So there was like 3 idea sets I think that hit 100. But or 10,000. We'll talk about that next week anyhow. 4 idea sets maybe. But the only other interesting thing I saw was they showed the sorting hats function, the Harry Potter sorting hat with the voice brick, and it's not the original voice from the movies. It's a different voice. It's the same phrases, but I was like, oh, that's kind of crappy. I was expecting, like, to me, it just didn't sound like the right voice. So I won't say upset about it, but I was annoyed.
I wonder if that was an issue with like the voice actor, maybe they couldn't get it. But it seems like if they got the licensing agreement to build Harry Potter sets, that they would also be able to use the original recording. But maybe there was something with the voice actor. Maybe the voice actor was like, hey, I got to get paid. Every single time a kid punches down on that button, I need to get paid.
Well, I remember my dad years ago they had a sorting hat, like non-Lego, that you could buy, like a cloth hat that had a voice box in it as well. My daughter really wanted it, so maybe they've done that in the past where they've used the original voice and maybe that guy sued them or something, or who knows, right? But anyways, I just thought it was kind of interesting that it wasn't the voice I was expecting to hear.
Well, and you get it usually in toys. They don't use the original voice actors,
Yeah.
even though they're toys from the movie. They have the license, but usually they don't use the voice actors from the movies for the toys. So
Yeah. Yeah. Was that from that white bin you've got that you brought over earlier? Is that from the Harbor Freight? The yellow bin, sorry, the yellow tray.
These came at Target.
I think I asked you
don't
last
know,
time.
about 4 years, maybe 3 years ago, and I have them in a mixture of colors. So I've got like a purple and a green one. And Target has come out with some more recent sorting trays, or at least that's what I call them, but they aren't quite as perfect. I love it's just got a thin lip. So if you're in particular, if you're pouring out pieces that aren't in great volume, it's just enough to keep the pieces from rolling away. So if you're dealing with like, round pieces or something like that, they stay in. If you're dealing with a lot of brick, then obviously you probably want something with a little more sides. But in particular, if you've been sorting and you're getting down towards the end and you've already pulled out all the big bricks and you've got like little tile pieces and such, it's a very nice tray. And I often will use these when I'm building official sets where I'll pour all the parts out and it's just enough of an edge or a lip to keep them from bouncing off your tabletop. So I use these all the time.
I was originally asking because that yellow is very close to the Harbor Freight's sorting tray yellow with like the bolt tray, which I have like 5 of, and I'm like, oh, is there a different style that I didn't know about?
Yeah, no, these were Target, and it wasn't a Target item that they carry all the time. It was in
like a special.
I know you guys lost your Targets in Canada, but if you entered a Target at the front, there's like the seasonal section, and it was always in the seasonal section. So. And it was a whole $3, so the price was right. So I think I ended up getting like 6 of these.
It's like $10 Canadian.
When I do cross the border,
500.
When I do cross the border, I'm going to come through Buffalo, which means I'll drive right past the Toys R Us in St. Catharines, and so I figure I'm going to visit every Toys R Us on the way back into Canada just for Kim
to counterbalance,
just because he's mentioned Target now.
I mean, the only thing I'll say about Toys R Us is that frankly, their prices were always higher than all the other retailers.
$5 higher,
but they almost never would clearance things out. So I remember once I went and this is from the Star Wars action figure collecting. They still had action figures from Star Wars Episode 1 when we were on Episode 3, and I'm like, when are they going to mark these down? I would buy some of these if they were marked down, but they would just let them sit there, and I guess wait for those grandparents that don't realize that this is a 6-year-old toy to buy the thing.
Oh, look, that looks nice.
The other thing that Toys R Us was good for is that because their inventory usually sold out last, you could get sets that were sold out other places. You're going to have to pay like 10% more, but at least Toys R Us would usually still have those expensive sets. And so when the Lego Lone Ranger series came out, I was like, "Ooh, I really like these sets," but I couldn't find the train one with the track. And I think I ended up getting it at a Toys R Us. It was the last of all of the sets, and I wanted the whole series for the Lone Ranger movie. And I guess the movie was pretty terrible. I don't think I ever saw it, but the sets were fantastic. Those were really fun sets.
See, that's funny because I got my Lone Ranger train set at a Target in Canada before they went and closed them all. So
it's like passing in the night.
2 trains on the same track. One train's traveling. No. I'm wondering though. We're done the news. I wonder if Chris is finished too. He is older.
He has only one ball, so it might take a while.
So I have a question for David, which is what's going on. So I'm the ambassador here for Peach Slug, and we're starting the process of picking our 85 element list. So we kicked it off 2 days ago, and people, because we have Atlanta BrickCon right smack in the middle of this weekend, and it basically eats up 4 days. I know people would be like, but I don't even have time to look at the list. I'm driving over and I'm setting up, and so our folks have till Wednesday to vote. Are you getting the list, or because it's interesting because some of the ambassadors have said they have not yet shared the list with their lug, and other ambassadors already shared it last week. So what's going on up there?
We did get our list because it was added to our Google Sheet, because we use Google Sheet for all of our the log ball process, and the the list of available pieces were added to our Google Sheet, but there was an error because all the images weren't matching up the description and the
What was
numbers of so
Oh, so someone sorted it somehow and forgot to.
well
images.
no it wasn't it wasn't like an error in because every images were reflecting like the piece 7 lines down, so it was just an error in the coding. So and I pointed it out to Patrick, and Patrick got it fixed. So now we have the official list, and we already had started the process because we even without the list, people were already had permission to submit pieces, and if they weren't on the list, Patrick was just going to take them out and say, "Hey, you get another choice, get another piece." So the process already has already started here, and I think we have until February 11 to select, well, submit our pieces, and the voting is going to start after that, I think.
So I can clarify a little bit about the official question, I think, which was what
Yeah,
Jeff
because
questioned.
I didn't know if it was an official list yet.
So I forget the date, but all of us who are ambassadors got a message in our inbox saying that the ordering platform is now live and the elements are listed. And people hopped on and got excited, and some people scraped all the elements off and put them into a Google Sheets and shared it. And historically, there's another ambassador that would take that basic information and then pull in like BrickLink prices, BrickAll prices, for us in the States, conversion of euros to US dollars, that kind of stuff, so that the list would go from about 5 columns width to about 8, 9 columns width.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say the name because maybe that person doesn't want the attention, but the person who had done that customization went silent on the forums, wasn't responding to messages. And so some folks like me, I was kind of waiting to see what would happen over the weekend. Like maybe he was going to pop up on Monday and share this, the tweaked list. And when that didn't happen on Monday, I was like, okay, I'm going to share what we have. Other ambassadors were confused. They were expecting to get something like that. And they were posing questions to the contact person with Lego, who I won't name them. And there wasn't a response immediately. And then there was a response, I believe, this morning that said the parts order list is the official list. Okay. That's it. There isn't anything else that's coming. They did tell us when it first went live that it was missing base plates on the very first day, but they've added the base plates back in. And that was the only thing that they told us to expect to change. So I think now all the ambassadors are going, oh, okay, this is it. We're going to run with what's on the ordering platform. So so that's where some of the confusion was. And the point person that historically talked to ambassadors about this has left Lego or is no longer working in this part. So the veterans, I'm not a veteran, this is my first time. The veterans are sort of like, well, so-and-so used to make this clear and yada, yada, and that person no longer is there. So maybe there's a little bit of, handing this off and maybe a little bit of lack of clarity, but the ordering platform is the list was the word we got today.
Yeah. And the list does have, as Jeff mentioned in chat there, the list does have parts that are in new sets that are just currently out. So BrickLink hasn't gotten the prices for it yet because BrickLink is slow in getting some of that stuff because the set has to be approved and added to the list, and then then people can start adding the parts to BrickLink and then setting a price for them too, right? So
the other piece of news that was clarified today is that the deadline for getting lug orders in is March 22nd, and a number of lugs were assuming that because we got the list significantly later than prior years, that the ordering deadline would be moved back, and that was made clear that would not be happening. So the March 22nd deadline is still on. So just sharing that for folks that may just be curious about the process.
Apparently, so I asked on Toralug to see if there was a deadline for our parts, and they're under the assumption that they don't have an official list yet.
Well, they should read the land.
Yeah.
watch your chat. I mean, that would be
or chat with other ambassadors and see what's going on.
In the lab today? No, in the land today. Yeah, go ahead.
But you're in the Toralug. You got the list through Toralug, or you got it from
they
somebody?
shared a Google Doc of the list. Yeah.
So that's it. There were a couple of other ambassadors that this surprised me. They said that before the parts platform went live and we had the official items available to order, that they were actually getting ideas using last year's list and already starting to formulate a preliminary 85 elements list, which that just surprised me because personally, I'm always super excited about brand new things. Yeah. Those are the things that, get me excited. Masonry bricks in new colors, or the ingots in new colors, or the plant pieces in new colors. So the new stuff is what almost always ends up on my list. So I'm like, the idea of using like the old list to come up
but
with
but you're a parts guy. You're not like a marker.
That's true.
And markers get excited about their next project. So
and that's fair.
And their next project probably doesn't need that new part. They need a certain type of part that already exists, but they need that in like large quantities. So
yep. And already in here in Peach Lug, I think 4 or 5 people. So the way we handle it, we have fewer than 85 voters. So if you are an eligible voter, you get to absolutely lock in one part, and then we vote on the rest. And 5 voters have declared what their lock-in will be. And I will be honest that of the 5 parts, I'm only ordering one of them. So people have projects. One person in particular has like a gray piece that's shaped, and this person has a big project that they need lots of them for this project, but it's just not a shape or a color that I'm going to use. And so I thought, well, that makes perfect sense. And this is what bulk lug is meant to be. If you need a large quantity and you've got some big thing on your agenda, it's exactly how you're supposed to use it. So I have no problem with the selection, but the selection can be very idiosyncratic. It can be somebody's like, I want this in dark orange and I only want dark orange, or whatever the case may be. So it is fascinating sometimes just to see what people pick. And sometimes I'll just ask them out of curiosity, like, why are you going this direction? Do you have like a project in mind? And it's kind of fun to see what people are thinking about in their long-term.
And last year, Patrick was nice enough to share the selection of other clubs to like bulk, and we compared the choices between the different lugs, and surprisingly, the choices were pretty much similar. Like the lists were pretty much similar in many aspects. Of course, there were like a few differences, and like a few lugs choose some pieces and other lugs choose other pieces, but in general, like the castle figs, the space figs, there were on many lugs list, and so I was surprised to see that how similar the choices were between the different lugs.
Sorry, I was going to say Brick Slope started following me today on Instagram. Just to follow up, the list was that they posted a list today.
Yeah,
as the official list, it doesn't have pictures in it. Apparently, according to the Toralug ambassador.
I shared the scraped list that was done, and it loads quick, and the pictures are lined up on the correct row. So
no, I'm just saying. Apparently, the official list that was shared today didn't have pictures.
So David, I would say if the same thing happened, I exchanged our parts list last year with somebody from the South Carolina lug just to the northeast of us, and I would say 50%, maybe 60% of our elements were on their list. Yeah. The biggest difference was we have more space people. So the Red Spaceman and all of the components for the Red Spaceman were on our list, and they had more castle people. So they had the castle torsos, and I think they even had like the horse barding and that kind of stuff because they had more people who voted for castle type stuff. So there was a difference. And, I kind of jokingly said like, well, our castle people should talk to your people, and if you've got space people, like maybe they work out a castle space exchange or something. But
one thing I did note looking at the list when I saw it was that these space guys are in it.
Yes,
so
they are.
It's every single torso and the one pair of legs. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my list the first two, which is one of those torsos and one in the legs. Because ideally, it doesn't matter what torso you have, because you can just pop the arms off and put other colored arms on.
My suggestion are the 4x3 panel in trans yellow.
Yeah.
That's already been locked in by one of our members.
and I also suggested the garage door in trans yellow also.
Oh, was that one on there?
I did not know
Yes,
that.
yes, it is.
I put the clear garage door in trans clear, I think 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
So
because I had some dream. I have not even used the pieces, but I had some dream of turning them on their side and putting like lights behind it or something like that. So maybe someday I'll actually use them. But
hey, Brick Dudes.
So that's my other suggestion, and the other three other parts that I suggested, the like quarter, well, not quarter, the half dome in white that are used in the new space sets.
Yeah.
And
the one that's kind of, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And someone suggested, and that was my original suggestion, but someone stole it for me. The plate with the plate with undersided there's like a bar. That's a new piece. We mentioned it, Jeff, in one of our streams.
It looks like kind of like the old vehicle wheel holder.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but it's not obviously. But
so one question I'm kind of curious to see what both of you answer this is, the list is over 11,000 pieces, and the first couple of years that I was eligible, I scrolled through every single page and just to make my like grand, these are on my radar. And this time I kind of went directly for certain categories that I know I just tend to use. Yeah. So how do you guys approach this?
I did start scrolling through and then realized that not all of it was sorted because, it's like, I went through all the torsos and there's no castle torsos. And then I scrolled down another 100 or 200 or 400 and then hit torsos again. I'm like, oh, okay. So I looked Monday when we were chatting after the chat and during the chat. And I kind of stopped after that because I had to get ready for the trip here. But for me, like I said, I'm debating the classic space torsos or the new figure torsos. And for me, it's leaves. Some of the, not the newest fern leaf, but just the older 3-pointed leaf in regular green. Like the little 2x2 leaf in regular green. Mm-hmm. I only have like 5 of them. And I need to build better trees for my castle. And I don't know what my trees are going to look like, but in order to build trees, I need like leaves.
Yeah, you need leaves. Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm leaning towards. And I know there's enough people like we have Nice Parts Usage. I don't know if you follow her on Instagram. Sandy, her name's Sandy. She's in Toralug, and she builds a bunch of botanical things in many different things. Yeah, that torso. So I know we have people like that in our group that will definitely also like ask for those type of beats. Nice parts usage in Instagram.
Personally, for this year, I went and I looked at Brick Set and I looked at all the new pieces that were coming out in 2024 that were already announced. Yeah. And that's why that's how I made my selection, because I made my selection way before the list was available. I was just like, I put the my pieces down and said, well, if they're available, great. If they're not, I'm gonna choose something else. But
are you gonna lose sleep that maybe there's a really cool part that you didn't find because you didn't scroll through all 11,000 parts?
Nope.
I might still do some. Like I'll probably, what I'll do is I'll sort, like I have the list. I'll sort it by color. I'll look at all the trans yellow stuff just to see if there's anything cool there. I'll look in yellow to see if there's any space babies. I'll look in white. I made that comment and nothing.
And I'm not going to lose any sleep because I don't know if my selections are going to make it to the voting process. So
He wasn't listening. Yeah. So
one quirky part that I did not expect to see in the list, and I just kind of stumbled across it, is they have the top of the head of the minions as a part, and it's a blue round piece with a dome and a single stud.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's an interesting part. I don't need 50 of them, but like, I think.
Do you know what it's from?
No.
It's from the Midnight or the new train set.
Is that what it's from?
Yeah, it's one of the domes of the train,
and that's why it's not
that's why
intellectual property.
Yeah, because they just use the part for something else now. I would say the Midnight Express, but that's not the name. What's that train?
Orient Express.
The Orient Express. Yes, sorry.
But it is. I'm not wrong, right? It is a Minions.
It is a Minions head. Yeah.
Okay.
That they just basically used because Lego owns the part. It's not like they can't use it again. So they just chose to recolor it. And I mean, it makes sense that it's got that like the line because it's got a weird line on it and stuff. But it makes perfect sense because that would be like the rivet area where they would the thicker area. So, they don't have the jaw. Wow.
No, they don't have the jaw. They have the orca whale, but the jaw is not available.
There's going to be a run on Jaws on just the jaw piece on Bricks and Pieces.
I don't know, but I mean, who's going to order 50 whales?
So I posted on the LAN. I said I'm daring the ambassadors to know which of you is going to actually put the orca on your lugs list and who's going to order 50 orcas. And I want to see what you do with it if somebody does it. And I just posted it kind of as a joke because when I saw the orca piece, it's still not cheap. And I thought, wow, if you got 50 orcas, that's going to cha-ching, that's going to add up. And another ambassador responded to my partial joke and said, don't test me. I love the orca. But I want to see a collab of orcas. Like maybe there'll be like space orcas or like medieval orcas. That would actually be kind of hilarious if people did like the orcas in like city and castle and stuff like that. That'd be funny.
Jeff, this is a good point. It is definitely nice to have the parts list because you could save it on your computer. By the way, I think Lego owns that sheet, but you can actually save it. Like you can make a copy of it, and I recommend doing that because it's a shared list, and any time that list can go away. So if you want to use it for the part numbers to look on Bricks and Pieces later, definitely do that. Anyway, I did it as well, just so I wouldn't have to download it from the web every time. Like it's just locally.
And I will say that the shorter, the version that somebody scraped off the parts order, because it only has about 5 columns and it's not pulling in Bricklink prices, it sorts much faster than last year. So like I remember last year, it's like sort and it's like 1, 2, 3 count as it tries to reorder those 11,000. And now that it's not pulling in, it's like click. Oh, wow. Okay. I can actually start scrolling.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yep.
There is one bit of news, and I just thought of this, which is the new Elementary post about the curved plant.
Oh,
trunk.
yeah. Have you seen that one?
I thought their explanation was extremely helpful because it's a relatively minor tweak of a mold.
Yeah. It's the new the Maxaroni, I think is what they called it. It was an Instagram post. I'm assuming they've done an online post as well. I did see that today. Yeah, no, I was driving. I saw that one.
But
it
talks about how the original Maxaroni piece, if you put two together and you've got the curve, it actually doesn't line up with other system pieces. And so if you were trying to connect a curve to like a stack of bricks and use the Technic pin, you're going to have this weird gap. And the new piece is engineered so that if you put two of them together, you get a 1/4 of a turn, and the top of the turn lines up exactly with a stack of bricks, for example. And
is it there, Dave? Or
nope?
Okay, I'll throw the. Give me 2 seconds.
It's not on their website though.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
I saw it on Instagram. I saw it on Instagram when I woke up this morning.
Yeah,
and then
so did I.
Somebody from Old Gray Bricks immediately texted it. And I'm like, oh, somebody's awake.
Oh, and Sandy, if you're watching, congratulations on the new car. I'm assuming it was new. I didn't actually read beyond that.
I did ask the question if it was pre-owned or new.
Yeah, I saw that. That's what I actually saw. Hold on 2 seconds. I think this will work. 2 seconds. Okay, let me just try to share this.
That's been 3 seconds.
Share screen, Chrome tab, window.
He's slipping on his IT hat right now, I think.
I am, but that's not the right. This one. Share.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, so we can't really see it here because I'm sharing on my other half of the screen. But let me just see if I can make this bigger.
Max or Roni.
Nope, that didn't make it bigger. Okay, that's about as big as I can get it, so sorry. So yeah, actually maybe this will work. Hold on, what happens if we do that? Oh, now I can't even see. Did it get bigger?
It looks like there's just a bunch of the text got bigger, but the picture is actually not any bigger.
Okay, I'm going to stop doing this now.
Hopefully, no one's having.
Yeah, Instagram sucks for that.
Yeah. So anyway, so the newer element, the older element is Technic compatible. It's Technic system because it fits the number 3 connector. Whereas the new one is system compatible. So as you go through the pictures, like they've taken a micrometer to it. Who cares about that? But Bricklink actually already defines the difference of these. One of them slightly longer, a couple millimeters longer. But yeah, so this is the Technic one. No, this is
the old one.
This is the old one because it's shorter. This is the new one, and it's like the right height of bricks. I can't really see what size of bricks that is. I think it's 3 bricks. And then the next picture actually shows, yeah, so this one is Technic compatible, whereas this one is not Technic compatible. It's a little bit bigger. And both of these, to me, this one seems like it's not long enough based on this corner, but this one looks like it's bent here. So it's definitely too long. But yeah, this to me is the one that got me. This fits the arch color, or the size of the arch, the 4 round arch, the 3 round arch. Whereas this one, there's like basically a gap in between. So I think that was it. Yeah, that's it for that article. But yeah, that was an interesting one. That's so, and both are relevant. Both are being used in a lot of different sets already. So yeah.
So now you'll have both parts mixed together in your collection.
Yeah, and some of them,
and Bricklink is probably going to fuse them together and say it's just one part, and it's not important.
And again, the bright green or the translucent green is already available in both pieces, so that's going to make it a little harder. 3 Canadian builders. Well, there's 2 Canadians and someone who's in the States and someone who isn't. Anyways,
I'm Canadian adjacent, being from
it got bigger than Martin. You're not in town yet, are you, Martin? Because I am.
Martin might be in town.
I don't know.
Although it's only a 2.5 hour drive from Birmingham. I don't know where exactly.
I think he's south of Birmingham.
That's actually not true. Martin has bought things off my Bricklink store, and I didn't realize until later it was that Martin from Alabama. And I'm like, oh, I have his address. Like, we could send him like something funny or something
like coffee crisps.
Ooh, he would probably.
I'm here raiding Walmart stores. What?
Not my Walmart.
I'm here. I have a store. My own.
We're gonna hit all the Walmarts between now and midnight.
Too late.
There's a lot of Walmarts in Metro Atlanta, so
I can disconnect the shard pretty damn quick.
There's probably some that are unscathed and they haven't fallen prey to the Martin vacuum.
Are there actually deals at any of the Walmart stores? The one I went to today was empty. The one in near the Cincinnati airport.
Yeah, we're kind of out of it.
Probably Martin got there first.
Look out your windows. Yeah, he doesn't know where you live. Oh, actually, he does, because if he ordered from you,
he does know my address.
I didn't remember your address. As soon as we posted it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember the street now. But
Martin, come on over. We'll be up till midnight probably.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I have any beer in my house because I don't drink, but we can have diet sodas.
Yeah.
Or maybe Jeff brought alcohol in his bag.
I did not. The only thing I brought was 2 Canada Dries, and one of them's gone.
He's got a 5th of Jim Beam probably.
Although
for the road.
I do. Water trip could be interesting because I do want to grab some water.
Some water?
Yeah, like a jug of water for filling my water bottles.
Oh, okay. We have water. Unless you want like pure.
Well, like usually I bring a jug with me to the show.
Okay.
But they have water bottle refilling stations there too, don't they?
I don't remember.
I think they did because it was a really nice, fancy establishment.
In America, water's free.
Well, it's free in Canada too. It just tastes like chlorine. But
well, it depends on the place, Jeff. Because water in Canada, water in Montreal is actually pretty great. It won international prizes.
My sister.
Setup is going to be there for Peach Lug. There won't be tables until 1:30, but you don't.
Trailer arrival for ABC has been updated to 1:30 to 2.
You're not using Peach Lug tables.
No, I don't.
So you're good to go.
But according to the Atlanta, sorry, we're talking about the Atlanta BrickCon, the setup time. According to the schedule, 2:00 is the earliest we can get in. According to the schedule, but you guys said you could get in earlier because you're Peach Lug and you're going to help set up. So does that mean everything's going to be delayed? Or is it just your tables?
It's just our tables because
aren't you bringing the tables?
I'm bringing the new tables. The old tables are in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
So we're using new and old.
So they're bringing the old trailer. So you guys can't set up your area.
I think the tables I'm bringing are basically the space layout. So we can start doing Moonbase, and frankly, I can put together my mosaic while we're waiting for. One, if I got there at noon and I had everything else squared away, I could still get going.
I miss sellers.
Did you guys have service merchandise up in Canada?
We had consumers distributing.
Is it like the same thing?
I think so. Was it like a catalog order store?
Yeah, you could look at one sample and then like you would buy it and then a conveyor belt would bring it out to you.
Yes, we had something like that. We didn't really have samples out, but it was basically you got the catalog, you went into the store and they had some podiums, some tables with the catalogs. You'd flip through, you write, okay, this number, hand it to them, pay for it, and then it would just come out from the warehouse behind.
Well, it depends because I wanted G.I. Joe figures when I went there, and they never had them. They never. I was like going the first day I got the catalog. I was going in. I want that G.I. Joe figure. We don't have it then.
Yeah, that. I remember that too. They rarely had stuff in. What are you looking at?
Oh,
sale items.
Martin's comments.
Yeah, that's assuming that Brits drink.
Martin, I'm assuming you drink tea, and I have that. I have at least 8 flavors of tea, and
yeah, but it's not the afternoon.
It's called a teapot, dude.
Teapot. Well, I don't have the traditional teapot. I have one of these things. It's like you push a button and it heats the water.
You have a kettle,
but it's a standalone. It's got its own heater.
You have an electric kettle.
Yes, and apparently, from this YouTube channel about this Brit, that's actually very common in UK. Is that people don't use the traditional stovetop? They just have a water heater,
an electric kettle.
That just still doesn't seem like the right nomenclature, but anyway.
Martin, what do you guys call it? Do you call it an electric kettle? Because that's what we call it in Canada.
Yeah, we need some viewer participation here.
If it's more than one flavor tea, it's wrong. One flavor tea flavor. Yeah, what? Orange Pico?
No, Earl Grey.
Earl Grey? Like what's your flavor?
English breakfast.
English breakfast? Ugh.
I don't like English breakfast.
Green?
It's too bitter.
I don't know.
I used to drink Earl Grey, but now I'm a green mint tea person. That's
my wife loves English breakfast, but she hates Earl Grey.
Orange Pico is what I used to make iced tea, and that's just the taste of iced tea as far as I can tell, but it doesn't taste like orange, so that's good. But yeah, sounds like we're pretty much done talking, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we're going to call it a night.
He wants to get rid of us that quickly. He doesn't want Americans in this chat.
Well, David's it's a heavy burden being the host and pushing the buttons. So David's like, I got to get off.
That's why it's Jeff's show on Jeff's channel.
Yeah, I like. Well, that's because I'm
usually the funny guy who comments and rants about things.
Sorry, when have you ever been the funny guy?
Always.
Fun guy, maybe, but not funny guy. Fun guy.
I'm not funny.
Now I want to go to Walmart's.
I also have cookies that we can refer to as biscuits to make it more British.
All right. Well, why do we call it a night? It's an electric kettle. What do you call it, Dave? What do you call do you call it an electric kettle? I mean, in French.
Yeah. It's translated to electric kettle.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
What is that in French? Is it like kettle électrique?
Non, c'est une bouilloire électrique.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah, it sounds more. It sounds like it's so much more cultured than what we have. So
Yeah. My brain is going.
yeah, he's at the end. He probably needs to go up and sleep or take a nap or whatever.
Go to Walmart.
Oh, go to
Go to
Walmart.
Walmart before,
Go to Walmart.
before
Oh.
Martin ends up buying everything.
I meant to ask you this. Did you, when you were at the Lego store, did you go to my Lego store?
I went to North Point.
Okay.
Because I didn't get my stamp at North Point last year.
If you go with me, I can twist the arm gently and see if they have any other parts in the back that they don't have up front. So I don't know if they have any more of the blue stanchions because I know that was something you were interested in.
Yeah, and I went to North Point to check that too, and they didn't have them. So, but now everybody's chatting away. Martin wants to do bangers and mash.
We can't end the show with all this lively chat going on. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll just sit here and read the chat out loud for another 30 minutes.
You have like 30 minutes. Candle-y lights in there? Okay.
Yeah, they're solar powered. They charge all day, and then they'll usually will like run out of juice about 4 a.m. But
I didn't. He's got some like torches outside or like solar powered torches. And when I was back in the trailer, and I didn't see those, but I wasn't really looking for them.
I would thought when you pulled up, they would have been like really obvious.
I was just trying to concentrate on where to put the trailer. Make sure I get the right left side versus.
They're kind of like tiki torches, but they're solar battery powered, so the sun shines on them all day, and then they run till their battery runs out.
Is that how solar power works?
Yeah, it kind of looks like our front yard's on fire.
We don't have that in Canada.
Speaking of which, just a quick question: there's no forest fire warnings around in the area, is there? Because coming through Tennessee and Kentucky this morning, there were some smoky areas on the road, and I'm wondering if they were doing some controlled fires somewhere. And then even when I came into Atlanta, I could smell like wood burning, and I'm like, I don't think people are running fireplaces. It's like 10 plus degrees right now.
Maybe it was American smelting.
18 degrees today when I was out there.
We don't have any.
Or Jeff is having a stroke. You do that.
Or maybe our environmental laws are just more lax.
That's possible.
Yeah, you need to burn some wood. Go ahead.
I'm just going to point out he is not yet wearing shorts.
I put on my comfy pants when I got here, but 17 degrees on Saturday, 14 degrees on Friday. That's all I'm saying. It's like
we're getting a nice 2 degrees tomorrow. So the snow's gonna melt.
I saw the weekend was supposed to be like at least in Toronto area.
They're talking about record-breaking heat here.
Yeah,
it's gonna be pretty nice.
February.
We have like a 50-50 chance of rain on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Are you going? You're going back Monday morning.
I'm going back. Monday morning. I'm heading towards. Oh crap! What's it called now? I'm heading to North Carolina to meet up with my friend
Carolina.
North Carolina to meet up with my friend Mandy, who I went to high school with, and she moved down to North Carolina, and we're going to meet up in Winston-Salem.
Okay.
Winston?
Yeah, Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem area, because she lives in Burlington, North Carolina. So we're going to meet up for lunch there. So I set a later lunch because it's a 4-hour drive to get there. So I don't want to leave at like 6 a.m. to get there. So hopefully I can leave at about 8. Send me a kitten picture, Matt. Yeah, I showed Matt. Yvonne wants pictures of your cats.
Yeah, or I can put it in the Facebook chat.
Oh, in our family chat or group chat?
Yeah,
our family
chat.
You guys are my family. Forget my family chat. You guys are the ones I care about. Oh, Yvonne's in there too, so that still works.
Yeah.
So, anyways, why don't we end it?
Yeah, I'm gonna call
Take it away,
nice.
David.
So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you. We still have 11 viewers, so that's good.
Yeah.
We haven't bored everybody. So yeah, we'll have you guys have a great con.
We'll do.
Take lots of pictures, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday to see how it went.
Yeah.
All right. I'm hitting the button now.
See you guys.
Bye.